Commander Strength Rating, Zoro is equal to Benn Beckman, Marco? Hello everyone, welcome back to Top Shounen. Through the latest One Piece chapter 1010 spoiler, we have seen the old father Oda buffed extremely hard for his biological child and his pet. Responding to the envy of someone who everyone knows is someone, Oda cold luffing asked, so now you like to buff them, or more time skip? So the guy is committed to being stepchild. The stronger Luffy and Zoro, the faster One Piece will come to an end, his comedy life will also be over. And it is true that by the Wano arc, we see that Luffy deserves the title the fifth Yonko that Morgan newspaper booth gave him. He no longer collapsed after a single cycle, even a blow to say is more horrible than dragging the 8 monster, hitting him head on only made Luffy a little stunned. Immediately after that, he got up and punched Kaido, and when he fought seriously, Luffy still wounded the world's strongest creature as usual. However, just being strong is not enough, he needs his teammates to become stronger. And Luffy's right arm is none other than Zoro. To be fair, this was not even possible with Luffy, he just realized it from Kaido's litmus tree. However, Zoro can use the same attack as a Yonko, even though he himself is not aware of his own potential. But Zoro fully deserves to be the number 1 commander of the Straw Hat Fleet, second only to the 5th Yonko Luffy. With his current strength, can Zoro surpass the commanders of the other Yonko? Today, Top Shounen will join you in ranking the strength of the commanders under the New World Pirates the 5th Yonko. Note, this list is purely based on my personal opinion, it is not representative of everyone. This is an open topic. For now, they will be the top most powerful commanders according to Top Shounen's ranking. 6. King the Wildfire. King is the leading figure of the tragedy of the Zoo crew, is the most effective arm of Kaido Yonko. Not to mention strength, in King is the assertiveness, the mind that any senior commander should have. By what has been shown, from borrowing the name Kaido to summoning Tobi Roppo, to carrying the battle alone, when Kaido left everything to go to the dome to fight the Red Bag, then to the turn of the 5 supernovas. At this time, King became the commander-in-chief of the Beast Pirates. Under his leadership the situation was under control, without the sudden participation of Marco, the samurai side would have been wiped out by the king. It shows that he is too worthy to be Kaido's number 1 commander, but that is on the battlefield, what about in a duel? King possesses a formidable physical strength, as well as physical strength. When all plans to stop the Big Mom cruise ship fail, then he personally takes action. King alone is enough to turn Big Mom into a farce, by flying the ship down at the foot of the waterfall. That handling phase made Big Mom lost her children, lost her memory and became the president's pet. This is an even more impressive debut of King the Wildfire. He owns the ancient Zoan Devil Fruit Ryu Ryu no Mi, model Pteranodon. It gives King a rare ability in One Piece, which is to fly, so that he can stop Big Mom from entering by himself. When he saw the king in action, Kaido sighed, and did not blame him for daring to take his name to order Tobi Roppo. Proves King received the absolute trust of Kaido, and largely based on his mind and strength. Like any other user, King specializes in melee combat, but he also has special abilities when it comes to ranged attacks, thanks to the flames behind his back. Perhaps this is a special form of fitness, coming from a rare race of the king, he can fly even without transforming. In addition, thanks to the fire behind him, King easily shot down the fish that were pulling the ship for Big Mom, as well as attacked Marco in chapter 1005. But the strongest King is of course still melee, thanks to the stamina as well as the terrifying resilience that ancient Zoan brings. Just look at Jack's drought, we will imagine the speed of the King's recovery, it will certainly be more formidable than Jack. But King is not someone who only relies on devil fruit, he is also a swordsman with rank. In chapter 1006, when King cut one wing off, he saw Marco still regrow his new arm, and even knocked both Okanban away. However, he could not turn the arm that King cut into a phoenix immediately, but attacked the queen with one arm and one arm. Apparently King the Wildfire's swordsmanship and armed haki were formidable, and it took Phoenix a long time to recover. Perhaps thanks to the buffalo's stamina and quick recovery, the ancient Zoan eater of the Beast Pirates did not pay too much attention to the observation haki. Since I do close combat after all, if I have to take a hit, then let's train my armored haki really hard, in order to pay back the opponent. Because of that, King only discovered Shinobu in chapter 988, as well as being helpless for Sanji to free Momonosuke. Apparently King's observation haki is trivial, but his armed haki is a different story. It is not clear whether King owns the King haki or not, and he has yet to give his all, so I just leave King in this last position. In my opinion, at the present time, if solo, the following people have the ability to defeat King. 5. Charlotte Katakuri. The next person is the strongest son of Big Mom, the brother of Katakuri. As the strongest of the three sweet commanders, Katakuri possesses the full qualities of being a leader. From calmness, quick judgment, prudence, to the hegemonic haki. But in Katakuri there is one point that makes even the enemy respect him, that is the spirit of fighting fair play. He refuses to win unfairly, despite having a chance to finish off Luffy. If he was exchanged for King, he would certainly not ignore that opportunity. That is why Katakuri has many fans, even though he is a villain, against the main character. Charlotte Katakuri has eaten the Machi Machi no Mi, a special paramecia type, that gives the user the ability to create, control and transform his body into Machi at will. Although this is an extremely versatile devil fruit, it's not what makes Katakuri the strongest sweet commander. It was the ability to use haki to observe to the point of clairvoyance that made Katakuri extremely dangerous. Thanks to the ability to separate bodies like a logistic system, plus the foresight of the near future, Katakuri easily dodged every opponent's attack. Luffy almost lost because of this ability. If not Oda's biological child, Luffy would be sure. Even Katakuri's armed haki is cut off, even though he doesn't have a high-level armed haki, only Luffy gets hurt when he punches each other. As for the hegemon haki, it can be said that Luffy and Katakuri are equal, he loses by not having the main character haki. Talking about Katakuri's biggest downside, perhaps stamina. It is true that he is physically strong, very agile, but because he rarely gets hit, he stabs less than Luffy. Luffy ate onions from start to finish, while Katakuri was only beaten in the second half of the fight, but he still collapsed at the same time as Luffy. But this is the biggest advantage of King, because he owns Ancient Zoan. One more advantage is that King can fly, and Katakuri does not. However, when fighting, Katakuri can use his awakening ability, turning the surroundings into Machi. At that time King's flight ability will be limited, followed by the King haki. Both of them don't know how to buff it on the attack, so it doesn't matter if King has or not. If we compare Kata and King, we're only comparing resistance, armed haki, and observation. As mentioned above, King endured and recovered better, but Katakuri was difficult to hit, since he was much better than the haki watching. King is unable to injure Marco. A similar situation will occur when he meets Katakuri. With his strong observant haki, he is completely able to dodge and counterattack King by surprise, leaving him unable to turn his hands, and then King will suffer many attacks from Big Mom's son. The longer the battle lasted, the greater the likelihood that Katakuri would win, because of this sweet commander's toughness and intelligence. No matter how much armed or stamina you have, and only you get hit and your opponent won't, you still lose. This is why I rate Katakuri higher than King. Even in a total war, I also believe the Big Mom gang will win the Bach Beast tape. 4. Roronoa Zoro. The next position was for the Straw Hat Swordsman, the fifth Yonko Monkey D. Luffy's right-hand man. With what has been shown, Zoro can completely rank above the King, or Katakuri. Considering the haki observed, Zoro is probably just equal to King, and of course not comparable to Katakuri. However, he possessed swordsmanship as well as extremely powerful armed haki. The 9 scarves can cut Kaido, Zoro can also. However, all of the damage caused by the Scarecrow's Ryu had disappeared. Only Zoro's recent slash was different from foam. Kaido himself said that it would leave a scar on him. Kaido could not recover after being slashed by Zoro, similar to the wound Odin inflicted. The reason lies in the King haki. When he was cornered to the limit, Zoro accidentally blasted it out in the sword, and so far I know the King haki is not just to stun the soldiers. The old Odin clearly buffed the hegemonic haki on the sword, and his Ryu was stronger than the Zoro now, so Kaido's scar grew so big. But Odin is on a different level from the commanders, so the fact that Zoro can do the same thing proves how great his potential is. The two swordsmen met each other, in the same melee system. King was Zoro's favorite rival. Even if Kaido can't even recover, King of course will be in big trouble if he gets hit by Zoro. Maybe Oda lets Zoro take a break, so he can practice the power he just awakened. And Zoro's opponent is none other than King. He will use armed haki and King haki, slash that lizard, to better control his power, then come back to slash Kaido later. Because it is difficult for Luffy to win solo against him now, Marco is also tired. He can beat Queen too, leaving King to Zoro. As for Katakuri, he is very difficult to be hit, but if he does, he will fall faster than King, because he is not as buffalo as him. This I have analyzed in the previous video, and the range of damage Zoro's sword inflicts, for example, the Black Dragon Ball. It was as large as Kaido's tornado, cutting through his dragon scales. I think Katakuri cannot dodge it all apart, and Kaido proves that Luffy foresee the future, he can still be hit by him. So Zoro can completely hit Katakuri, even when he's calm. 3. Marco the Phoenix. Number 3 belongs to the strongest son of the world's most powerful man, Phoenix Marco. I already have a particular video about Pineapple Head, so there is no need to repeat too much. The battle in the music hall proved one thing: even though the roles were equal, different abilities lead to different fighting abilities, as well as different strength. King or Katakuri may only be 9 and 1, but Marco is on a different level. He completely outperforms the two most powerful Okanban in the Beast Pirates. We all know one thing: if he plays solo, King has absolutely no door. Fortunately for him, both the Han and the Queen eat ancient Zoan, so they lasted for so long. They also recovered quickly to make Marco tired. But Katakuri won't be so lucky. The fact that he splits to dodge the same way he punches Marco, Katakuri can't hurt Marco with an armed haki just to the basics. As for Marco, the huge fireballs that he shot at the Queen's neck, or straight at the King, were all damaging by shock waves. Certainly Katakuri could not be dodged, such a wide range of damage, and shockwave form, he would be hit in an instant. The two ancient Zoan eaters still fell up and down, then Katakuri would lose his tail to Marco in a duel. Marco's power is the reason why the most powerful Whitebeard pirates in the world, making Kaido or Big Mom afraid of one spell. Because the old father was already stronger than the rest of the 4 emperors, and his son would have eaten off the other commanders, no matter what the Whitebeard pirates were, everyone had to grimace. Compared to Zoro, with his irreversible Kaido, I believe he could also hurt Marco. However, it was only in the moment of life and death that Zoro exploded it, not even he himself was aware. So I still leave Marco on top of Zoro. Whatever you say, the Pineapple Head has reached the top, and the combat experience is much richer. This is an important factor to help Marco get better, while Zoro is in his potential form, when he can fully master the power to win against Marco. For now, I still think Marco will win, if I ignore Zoro's darling haki. 2. Shiryu of the Rain. Ranked number 2, is the future rival of Zoro, swordsman, Captain Titanic number 2 Blackbeard crew, Shiryu of the Rain. To comment on his strength, it must be through the Melting King Magellan. Magellan alone was enough to kill the Blackbeard pirates while in Impel Down. Luckily Shiryu brought the antidote, or they were all dead. While chasing a group of prisoners escaping, all Ivankov and then Inajima broke out, but were quickly defeated by Magellan, more terrible than he had never been injured. Jinbe also recommended that Magellan should not be confronted, including Crocodile in the logistic system, to be afraid of a few parts. At that time it felt like Magellan was more than capable of killing all the prisoners. He looked like an admiral fighting a bunch of supernovas. Before the time skip, Ivankov was definitely stronger than the supernovas, but teamed up with Inajima, then Luffy and Sanji, all of them defeated. And this is what Ivankov said about Magellan and Shiryu: this prison used to be a man's home, probably very important to that guy. Do you know who? The commander of the Impel Down Guards, Shiryu of the Rain. His strength is comparable to that of Chief Magellan, since Magellan rarely works, so he is more dangerous. As strong as Magellan, making this prison impregnable. When Ivankov said that Shiryu was as strong as Magellan, Bon Clay was shocked, as he had just witnessed Magellan fertilizing Luffy. At that time, if Shiryu was added, they would be dead, and in fact Magellan had to rely on Shiryu too, when the situation became out of control. Formerly the former Impel Down chief, being dismissed from his position and locked up on the 6th floor, Shiryu possesses immense power. Surely he is a master swordsman, both in swordsmanship and haki, promising to be a tough opponent for Zoro. Thanks to Shiryu's help, Blackbeard was able to defeat Magellan, beat him to the deadliest, freeing the most dangerous prisoners on the 6th floor, showing that Shiryu was already the strongest of Blackbeard's fleet. In this case, it is very similar to Odin and Marco. Although he is the captain of the 2nd division, Odin is stronger than the Pineapple Head. And Shiryu can also accept 2 to 3 names of Jesus Burgess. But as if Oda wasn't feeling enough, he continued to buff Shiryu with Absalom's devil fruit. The unwritten rule that true swordsmen do not eat devil fruit are broken by Shiryu. But how powerful the Suksuk no Mi ability is, let's see how Absalom broke into the kid's eye space, and then got the information that the Kid, Apu, Hawken alliance will know. There was also Killer, 4 of these worst generation all capable of wielding observation haki, which Absalom could not compare with Shiryu, so it is unlikely that the observing haki discovered the Sook Eater. Sook. In chapter 925, Shiryu also said, I have acquired a useful ability. He is currently 42 years old, the peak age in One Piece. Shiryu is not stupid enough to weaken himself. When the haki appeared in the new world, beating the boss now had to have a high-class haki, yet Oda buffed Shiryu for stealth. Maybe this is how Oda declares war on his own power, a power that helps Shiryu against even high-level haki. Maybe in the battle with the Red Hair Pirates, we will see a swordsman disappearing, approaching, and attacking the opponent invisibly. To some extent, observing haki will be useless against Shiryu, like the great masters in the Swordplay movie, or Dragon Ball, can hide his aura from being detected by the enemy. In One Piece, before Shiryu reveals his haki or murderous intent when attacking, no one will detect him. Since Absalom is not strong at all, he can exist in the new world, entering and leaving the headquarters of the skilled pirates haki without losing a single hair, proving that if he does not reveal his killing intent, he will not sense the invisible person. Shiryu is a master swordsman, and now he becomes an invisible swordsman, able to create powerless sword moves that are both fast and powerful, and his opponents don't know where Shiryu is until he attacks, right? Like a tiger growing more wings. Zoro will have to put in a lot of effort if he wants to overcome Shiryu. Oda has created a boss for Zoro, so that he can reach Mihawk's level. King Sais and Katakuri want to hit Shiryu, just like when they hit Marco, extremely difficult. Similar to the pineapple-headed guy, I think Shiryu will hit you more than you hit. Even if Marco recovers initially, in the long run, Shiryu will still win. I even believe he is very close to the level of a naval admiral, and fully deserves the position of number 2. 1. Benn Beckman. Top of the table could not be anyone else, except for the red-haired pirate captain, the right arm of the red-haired Yonko Shanks. Previously, Oda revealed that Benn Beckman was the smartest man in the East Sea, and he was so strong that he could fight the Navy Admiral on his own. Ben is very strong in physical combat. In Vivre Card, Data Book Volume 1, Oda noted that Benn Beckman's physical strength was comparable to Red Hair. We can understand that physically, just as his armed haki is like the Yonko, maybe Benn Beckman just lost because he could not use the high-ranking haki like Kaido and Luffy recently, and he accepted it all. But as I analyzed earlier, high-class hegemony haki is what makes the difference between the 4 Emperor and an Admiral. So maybe Benn Beckman was as strong as the Admiral. In a duel, he was capable of defeating Kizaru, or Fujitora. On the contrary, if you are careless, Ben is also likely to lose, because their abilities are equal. But surely Benn Beckman was the strongest commander, among the commanders of the 5th Yonko. Maybe Luffy just surpassed him, thanks to his mastery of the high-class haki, but Zoro, Marco, or Shiryu could not match him. That was the ranking of the strongest commanders of the top shounen. What about your opinion? Please comment to let me know. And do not forget to give the likes, shares, and 1 channel registration to support Top Shounen to produce even more better videos, to serve you. Goodbye and see you again.
Yeah.